You might have once transformed into a wizard or a fairy in your dream world, or perhaps you've dreamed of extraordinary places in multiple dimensions when you were a kid. We see different possibilities made up by our imaginations that exist in other worlds. But the truth is, dimensions are really far from the realities of how we envision it. There's more to it than our usual 2D or 3D. Let's then dive into infinity and beyond. Before we start, let me give you a heads up of what dimension is defined as. Our subject dimension is what interprets the length, width, and depth of all objects in our universe. The first dimension is simply a straight line. It only possesses length and does not have any width or depth. The second dimension is our x-axis joining our y-axis, which now has width and length. One example is the square shape. It has both an x-axis and a y-axis, making it 2D. Now let's take a look at our square transforming to a cube in the third dimension. "3D is all this together." Just add depth to both the length and width, and the cube now has all length, width, volume, and depth, resulting in area and cross-section. Now that we are reminded of the dimensions we are familiar with, let's have the fourth dimension. In 1984, a theory called superstring was formulated. It stated that the universe's fundamental constituent is a one-dimension string. Instead of the usual point particles we know, which are dimensionless, lack spatial extension, and don't take up space, these particles are actually the vibration loops of the string. String theory requires gravity in a few extra dimensions, resulting in a fourth dimension. As such, the fourth dimension equals time. If you were to imagine yourself in the fourth dimension, you would see multiple versions of yourself, starting from you as a baby, to you as an adolescent, and to you as you currently exist. But just like how we perceive three-dimensional objects as their two-dimensional cross-sections, we only see one version of ourselves because we live in the third dimension.